metalheads. So I just watched the show Hysteria. Have you heard of it? It's on, I believe, Peacock, a new series that came out. Basically, it's a thriller comedy set in the 1980s during the Satanic Panic, and how heavy metal music kind of was the gateway to all that, and how it was perceived to be what was causing all the craziness in communities and in small towns and big cities all across the United States there in the 80s. That whole era is very well documented. There's so much out there if you want to look more into it. But I think the first thing I want to kind of talk about is the production of the show. It was really good production. I like how they would put characters kind of center on camera to invoke more tension, so to speak, and build kind of like something wasn't right with the character. Like they would be centered, and you would just feel like what they were saying wasn't maybe true, or their intentions weren't true. I like that they used that a lot, especially on specific characters. And it makes sense to do it on those kind of characters, because as you watch the show, you kind of get more information regarding like who these characters are, their background, and what really they're up to. There's another scene, I think it was in maybe the first episode, maybe the second, where the mom of the main character, or the main kid, is having like this monologue, and there's like this fan kind of in the background just kind of twirling, and the light is kind of going around her kind of at the same pace as the fan. And I just thought that was a really interesting use of light and props, and how the light would focus from her left to her right, almost like she was just kind of on a balance beam, trying to figure out, well, which direction do I go? Am I going with all this left, right? I just thought that was really cool. And then I enjoyed the music, the soundtrack. I mean, what caught my eye was it was about a heavy metal band. I'm like, ooh, heavy metal band, let's check this out. And it didn't disappoint. I mean, they had some songs from Black Sabbath, Ghost. Even though Ghost wasn't around in the 80s, I thought that was a little interesting that they would have a Ghost song. Cirith Ungol, there was a Cirith Ungol song in there, and I was like, whoa, these guys are going like real deep into finding some licenses of heavy metal music to use on this show. But it was good. It was really cool. I think there was a Queen song in there as well. You may think Queen heavy metal, you may not. That's, different discussion, different time for different topic. But then the episode titles had some homages to heavy metal. Can I Play with Madness, famous Iron Maiden song. Mother, of course, Danzig, very famous song by Danzig. And there was a few other titles I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but each episode I think was named after a kind of popular heavy metal song, which I thought was also very creative in the production to do that and give it that line. So the production of it, great, top. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from a company that is doing something on a streaming platform to lack in that. The set design, the teenagers' bedrooms, of course, decorated with heavy metal posters, heavy metal flags. There was a couple that I think I even had as a kid growing up in my room, like a Metallica Master of Puppets album cover flag, and I think I saw Metallica and Justice for All album flag as well. I mean, just that set design to really invoke that these kids were like really into heavy metal music. It was so cool. It was awesome. All right, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the plot, and I am gonna do my best not to give any spoilers. So this is gonna be a spoiler-free kind of plot analysis, plot summary. If I do give away a spoiler, I apologize in advance, but I'm going to try my hardest not to. So the show focuses on this fictional town called Happy Hollow, where a teen goes missing. He's like the quarterback of the high school. The townspeople start to think that Satanists have taken over because the child ends up being murdered, and there's all these kind of occult symbols and things kind of being plastered around the town. So the townsfolk are like, oh no, the devil's here and there's a cult here. And it was funny because I was watching the first episode and I was kind of reading the names of the actors, and it said special guest star Bruce Campbell, and I was like, oh my gosh, Bruce Campbell is in this. And I couldn't wait to see who he was going to play. Or I figured since it was kind of a special guest star and he wasn't listed as like a main cast member, I thought he was going to be like just some kind of one bit character, but no, he plays the chief of police, and so he has a very prominent role in this series. Why they kind of kept him as special guest star and not as a regular actor on the show, I mean, that could have been negotiations or something like that for some reason. But I just love that Bruce Campbell was in this show. I did not know he was in it when I was looking to see if I wanted to watch the show or not. I didn't know anything too much about it, so that was a really nice surprise to see the master of ham thriller comedy, Bruce Campbell, in this show. I will say, if you're looking for him to kind of reprise kind of that Ash type of acting, you're going to be a little disappointed. He does have a few kind of lines that he kind of says that just kind of pay homage to his credentials as an actor, which is amazing. But he does some really good acting in this, like as the chief of police, very believable. But he's also has this like trusting heart. Like you can tell he's not quick to blame these kids that are in this heavy metal band or kids that listen to heavy metal music. He's very open-minded, and he's very like this, I gotta see these facts before I draw any conclusion to anything. And so the three main teens, Dylan, Jordy, and Spud, they have a heavy metal band. Of course, if you ever had a band in high school, your biggest fans was your mom and probably your grandma. Same thing with these kids. They have no fans, but they use this opportunity that people are, worried about, like Satanists in town or there's a cult in town. They use it for publicity. That old saying, free publicity or any publicity is the best publicity. A lot of history with heavy metal bands or heavy metal artists that have used kind of that similar thing. Any publicity is good publicity. They kind of take that on and they kind of let a rumor kind of just casually fly throughout the school and the town that we're in a cult and we're a heavy metal band. And that's when kind of things get a little out of hand for the three band members, especially the main Dylan. He's kind of like the main character of the show. He's the guitarist and one of the vocalists on it. I will say they played a cover of Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. I mean, I think that was probably the best song to play. And I think it was maybe in the first or second episode. So it was real early in the series that kind of set that tone of like what's happening in this show. And using that song by Iron Maiden was good. They didn't like play Iron Maiden's version like as the backing track. They actually recorded probably a 3-piece doing that song to make it sound like this is what like a high school band would sound like if they played this song. So that was really cool. But yeah, they used that opportunity to try to get famous, and they it kind of goes from there. Like I said, I don't want to really give any spoilers to it, but that's kind of the basic plot of the show. All this crazy stuff starts happening, and there's people that you're thinking like, well, are they bad? Are they good? What are their true intentions? And then who is this strange person that kind of keeps popping up? And yeah, I mean, it kind of resolves, but it does kind of leave a little bit of a cliffhanger for a possible, season 2 if they wanted to do that. But if they didn't, then, of course, the main plot wraps itself up and you're kind of left with like, okay, I'm good if they don't do a season 2, but it would be nice if they did, just to kind of follow up on a few other kind of loose threads, so to speak, that almost every show kind of does, with the hopes of getting a second season. Why did I watch this show in the first place? Well, honestly, I was really looking for something on the thriller horror side to watch, and I saw that this had something to do with a heavy metal band, and I was like, okay, so that caught my interest. And then, like I mentioned earlier, that some of the names of the episodes were song titles from well-known metal bands. That grabbed my attention as well. The main plot, you know, it kind of really, that first episode does a good job of getting your attention and giving you just enough to leave you a little wondering what's next and kind of want to keep going on. There are some characters that you kind of root for, and some you just want to hit them upside the head because you know they're lying, or you know they are just full of crap, and you're just like, shut up. I know something bad's gonna happen to you. Um, I kind of binged it. I didn't watch it all in one day. I think I watched it over the span of maybe 3 or 4 days. I think it was 8 episodes, so it's not, you know, like a 22 episode or 15. It's 8 episodes, all about an hour each. So you really could watch it all in one day, like over a Saturday or Sunday when you're not doing anything. You could watch all episodes. And like I mentioned earlier, I liked how they also played some good metal songs throughout the episodes. And again, like I said, it does leave it open for a season 2. And right now, I'm not sure if it's been greenlit. I haven't seen. It's still pretty new, but from what I can tell, the reviews have been positive and favorable. A lot of people have enjoyed it. How about you? Did you see it? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it and what you thought of it. If you haven't seen it, check it out and let me know what you thought about it. Again, I enjoyed it. If they do a season 2, I may go back and rewatch it. And then if they do a season 2, what do you think? Should I watch each episode and do a reaction to each one? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that cowbell to be notified of new videos coming. And as always, thank you so much, metalheads. And remember, keep it loud and keep it metal.